online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Shit, but hoes and tricks. Lick on these nuts and suck the dick. Get the fuck out of
here. Super throwback.
Bitches ain't shit.
That's how I'm feeling.
Mind you, this was a choice of Mr. Cameron Penny.
Yes,
this was not my choice of song. What's up, guys? So happy to be back. We had a week off last week because of the holiday, which is typical for VH1 to not show a new show during the holiday weekend. But we are so happy to be back to have another after show of Basketball Wives LA. But before we get started, of course, you know to subscribe to us and like on YouTube. That's youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ TV. And like and subscribe to us on iTunes and SoundCloud, or download the app to your smartphone so you can get us right away. Listen to it, watch it, either or. I am your host, Gary Thomas. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at @IamGaryThomas. And although Corinne is still not back, Corinne, we don't know what's going on with you. And Jesse is not here this week. We got Cameron Penny back, who has been gone for like 5 weeks. So...
Yeah, I was gone. I was traveling. You know, I'm a working man, but it's happy to be back. And I come back in the studios bare, man. It's like, I think this is our last show here.
This is our last show in this particular studio. We're going to be in a new studio next week.
Wow, we're out of here. It's been sad, but it'll be real good at our new location. But hey, it's good to be back. And you can always follow me on Twitter at CameronPenny_. Eric, can you make me do the pop up at the bottom right now? CameronPenny_. I don't know, but Eric's our engineer today. What's up to him?
This episode, I mean, I missed it last week because I really didn't want to get this episode sooner. But this episode was, it was interesting enough. You know, we start out the continuance of Drea's comment to Brandy, and leading from the event, you know, the cancer event that Brandy and Jackie threw together. And, you know, we have this whole situation with Angel being in the middle.
Yes.
And so Drea's comment about, if you guys haven't been watching, Drea, when the cameras went off, they had a producer cam that said Drea told Brandy that, you know, her cancer story is whack. No one wants to hear it anymore. It's getting boring. And
if I were Charlemagne the God, I would give Drea the donkey of the day. I'm so disappointed in Drea. For a woman who came from the bottom and did whatever she did to get to where she's at right now. I hear rumors, I hear about, you know, her affairs and all that. But for someone to go from where she's at to become the top thought on Instagram, to clean her image, to delete her wholeness, to have the nerve to have no compassion for a friend. This is the same compassion she didn't have for Malaysia when she didn't text her or anything when her brother was killed. Listen, Drea. I love you. You are a beautiful woman. I've always stuck up for you, and I've always wanted to see you succeed. And I love how you transform your brand into the top thought, into the top spot, and a great woman and a great mother. But don't get it confused about why you are where you are. You are where you are because of fans and people wanting to aspire to be like you. Because really, there's no talent.
First of all,
what did Ronda Rousey say?
Let me stop.
DMB. Do nothing, bitches.
Let's stop you because you just gave Drea the read of her life right there.
But I love her. But for real,
I just feel like, see, this is my thing, and this is kind of what happened on Twitter too. I don't think she meant it in the way people are taking it. I think that she just meant it as...
See, now you sound like Angel over there. Now you sound like Angel.
Look at you. You didn't even let me finish my sentence. I do feel like Angel because you're not letting me finish my sentence. I think she meant it for the show. Yes, it's still wrong. It's not a nice thing to say to anybody, but I really think that she was saying for this show, you need to bring your storyline back. You know, bring your storyline more relevant, you know what I mean? And she's saying that the story is a little boring, and that's what happened on Twitter. Tammy said that same thing. Tammy was saying, hey, I think that she meant it for the show, and that's how her and Megan got into this Twitter argument. If you guys did not see that, you might want to catch up. Tammy and Megan got into a Twitter argument because, of course, you know, Megan is not here for Drea at all. And Tammy tweeted that, you know, she felt like Drea was saying this it was boring storyline for the show. Megan got into it. They got to going back and forth. And Tammy aired out some of Megan's dirty laundry, that, you know, saying about Megan possibly had like a threesome with her half sister and whatever. That was the argument. So
Drea was given the opportunity this show to clean up what she said. And she confirmed that it's whack and it's boring.
It is.
That what she claimed. I mean, but that's not the point. You need to tell Shed Media and VH1 and Shawnee that. You don't go on national TV.
No, it wasn't national TV. It was actually the producer cam. The producer cam. The actual cameras were off. This is the producer who caught this and they let it air out, and then they made this a whole situation. They actually never saw this footage while they just were talking about the conversation. The footage came out, you know, when the edits came out.
Well, then that would have been a good opportunity for her to clear it up on the show because nobody never seen it. So when an opportunity with her and Angel, and then how you going to deny taking a picture with the fan? I know you were under some distress.
She does that. I mean, if you're upset, you're upset. You
yeah,
don't
but
wanna...
it's like, listen, the people make you who you are.
But she's still human. You don't want. Sometimes you don't want to take pictures with people. She has the right.
You have compassion, and you want people to forgive you and to delete your wholeness and us to ride with you as you transform into super mom and a super brand, which I do support. You got to show some love, and you got to say, you know what? Then you want to send her the text. Now, come on now. You got to give her on the text. I was not cool with the pettiness.
No, if she was calling Brandy a friend, no, it's not cool. I mean, actually, the whole thing was childish. I wouldn't even text you about it. I just would stop messing with you. But I feel like if that's what she want to do, that's what she want to do. They're not friends. If she was still considering Brandy a friend, she should have never said any of that.
There's nothing wrong with what she wants to do. She's human, like you said. She has her own emotions. She has her own world. You know, she goes through a lot. Drea gets a lot of trolls on social media. I get all that, but she had a chance to clean it up. She didn't do it. She sent out the text and didn't do it. And this goes back to the whole Malaysia affair with her brother, and you know she not love for that. And then it's just like what Shawnee said. Drea really showed who she really is.
Yeah, and
that's who you are. That's cool.
But now they're dragging Angel into this.
Well, Angel need to get some balls.
I think that Angel's entirely too nice for this show. This is not her. She's not this kind of woman.
You gotta be a dog.
Yeah, she's not this kind of woman, and I can appreciate it about her because it shows that like I don't do all this arguing and you know getting catty and stuff. She's always trying to be very nice and play neutral. But you are, you know, I understand defending your friend, and she's probably the most loyal friend on the show. But you got to be your own woman if you're going to continue to be on this show, Angel. Right. Like, because they're going to drag you through the mud because they're now using you as a way to get to, you know, Drea because they're not getting to Drea. So now you're like using her to like.
But you can't defend wrong.
No. Well, I don't. Well, see, here's my thing with Angel. Angel really doesn't know what was said. She's just hearing about hearsay, you know. So she
heard it when they was outside of the hotel, and she asked her again, "Did you really say that?" It is whack.
Yeah,
it is boring.
That was her
Angel's like, moment to be like, wow. I really wanted Drea to really.
But you know what? That was her moment. Her face was like, she knew. She was
I really was rooting for Drea to really be the girl that really had care, but it seemed like
she's not.
I see, and I'm kind of disappointed.
Especially when you get upset, you're not going to be that person.
Yeah,
and mind you, people. While he's saying all this, he calls me. I says I act like Drea when I see him out in public. So just so you know,
when you see this guy out in public, he don't show me no love.
That's so not true.
He gives me the Drea. Like, he do interviews? Can I get an interview? Oh, well, when you become somebody, like, wow, for real. But it's okay.
I've said on previous shows that I can relate to her attitude sometimes because I know I have a stank attitude. Sometimes I tend to come off wrong.
Is it a light skin thing? What is it?
Are we really gonna do this color war?
I mean, they always say light skinned girls with big foreheads always good. They don't text back. I mean, what is going on?
Well, you text Drea and find out she gonna text you back. Okay.
So, Drea ain't even know. I mean, listen. Like I said, you know, if you go back to our very first show, me and you was Team Drea all day. And every time we do our predictions,
actually, that picture she released the other day too, I'm still Team Drea.
Yeah, with the blue hair. I mean, Drea, I love. There is no negativity towards her as a character, but when she said what she said and she didn't clear it up and the text message, and then it brought me back to the Malaysia memories. It was like, okay, Drea, I think this is who you really are.
I mean, honestly, because I feel like the show really doesn't. do me any justice for them because, you know, being in Hollywood, we've seen these women out, we've met them, and I don't base my opinion based on this show. It's something I
get it.
You know, I like to see a show and get entertained just like everyone else does, but I don't really base it on it. So I guess because I have my feel about Drea because what I've seen her in person.
Right.
And just like I said, same thing with Jackie. I don't get with all this craziness she does on TV because she's such a nice person in real life.
Right.
So I guess I'm still Team Drea because I don't really care about the show like that.
Yeah.
Like what she said on the show, I'm entertained by it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, listen, it was definitely ratings, but you know, when you like somebody and it's like people always say, I love this artist, but when I met him, they were a dickhead, and you know, and you always have this.
I would say Malaysia has one of the stinkiest attitudes I've ever seen out in public. She has an arrogant air about herself sometimes.
Right. Well, you know, they're all going to be that. They're all women, and it's a battle, and then you know, the pressure to be a woman and to be feminine. So, but
the pressure of reality TV, because we're not talking about people who are displaying actual talents. Now, I'm glad they're, you know, launching their entrepreneurial brands as far as, you know, Malaysia's amazing betting line, which was great. That was great. We're going to get to that, but that was great. And with the men's swim. But let's go back to the fact that you don't have any real talent. So what is the pressure? Because it's not a pressure to produce.
That's why
it's a pressure to be
disappointed.
It's a pressure of being a
being a
figure in Hollywood.
There you go.
Like you're just trying to be a figure in Hollywood. I, on the other hand, was blessed with gifts that I have to produce.
Exactly.
That's different. And and no shade to you guys. This is how you make your paycheck. Exactly. I'm not mad at you. But at the end of the day, none of you all have a talent.
Exactly.
You have, you know, you're now being businesswomen and you're not being, you know, executive producers, and you know, and Drea's getting into acting now, so I'm okay with that now. She did great on a TV1 movie with Marcus Houston. I mean, like I said, Drea is someone who I can see. She made the change. She made the switch. She got out of her old world. Do you think it's going to her head?
Yes, I think that she was always a little, you know, pretty girl all the guys liked, and you know, and she used it for advantage to get where she's at. But I was just a little hurt as a fan and as somebody who looked up to her and supported her transition.
I would say for myself, I did always find Drea attractive, but I didn't like her until this season because I liked her honesty. Before, I didn't really feel like she was that honest.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing I'm disappointed about is that fact that she continues to not stay until the end and hash it out. She leaves.
And that was something that and we can move on because that's something that now that Tammy's back, Tammy comes to the show this episode now. That's something that Tammy and Shawnee said, you know, she felt like the Miami women more will find a way to resolve, whereas the LA women never resolving. They always walk away or they're not friends and do it back and forth.
Well, the Miami women was really married to real ballers.
They're older too.
And they were all older. These are young girls who really kind of got caught up in the life and ended up becoming baby mamas more than Shawnee and Tammy, who actually married and on the road and at the basketball game. So I do understand that.
So now that Tammy is back, we see some truths coming out. Tammy is definitely different for the LA women, you know.
Well, first of all, she looked real good.
She looked great.
She looked very good.
I've seen over the years the transition, and I always, you know, if Tammy was comfortable in her body before, great. She did, you know, the confidence will show. But over the transition over years from when we first started seeing her on TV to now, she's made an amazing transition.
But she got a man now, so he probably keep it looking good. That probably brought some light.
I was gonna say that, like, that smile is extra big now, you know. But she looked good. She looks really good.
You're right. And this must have been recorded before the whole pregnancy thing, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, we all know that Tammy was pregnant, had the miscarriage, which is unfortunate.
Definitely.
I like that Tammy's here because it's a lot. It's a lot for the women of LA.
Well, she's more like a mother and a therapist, and she did some instigating. You know, I like how she went and actually.
Her instigating has truth behind it, though. She's like, well, I told her that you told me.
Well, yeah, but I love the way how when Angel couldn't take the pressure and she left, Tammy actually went and chased her down and said, "Listen, what's your side of the story?" And then she was able
to... nobody has let Angel talk. Tammy was the first person to actually be like, what's going on? And then I like that she told her, you know, when you're in a group of affected people, you sometimes got to stand alone. Like, that was a quote to take.
Yes.
To take to the grave with you. We all are in that type of environments where people are affected by different things, and we allow it to, you know, foster into our thoughts. When we really need to be like, I'm me.
Right. Well, Angel definitely needs to speak up, and she can still be Drea's friend, but you still need to be your own person as an individual. And that's what everybody's trying to get you to say. Don't speak for Drea if you keep saying you wasn't there and you don't know. And Drea already told you how she felt, and how she felt was wrong. So don't try to defend it.
I think that she just, like for example, Malaysia's video, her shoot for her betting line, it's just like they're using her as a way to lash out and get their frustrations out, like Tammy was saying, whoever was saying was that you're losing her, but she's never really given a chance to speak either. But I don't want her to speak on it anyway,
Yeah, she doesn't need to speak on it. Well, she can because she does know, but
she obviously knows Drea very differently than everyone else.
There you go. She knows Drea differently, but Drea did tell her the real.
Yeah, she told her
how she felt, and you can't defend that.
They've actually, from what Angel told me, she said they were friends well before she was on the show, right when, before her fashion line, all of this. They've been friends for a really, really, really long time. So she knows things in Dre's personality, I guess, differently than the other women do. Yeah. And I think that's maybe true, too, in a sense, like, when you know somebody a lot longer, you're way more genuine. So she may get a side of Dre that they will never get.
And she's trying to translate that, but there's no translation of it is boring, it is whack, and yes, I did say that.
Yeah, and then I would have been happier if at the cancer event if Dre just said that.
Yeah,
like she does have a way of manipulating things into a victim.
From it.
No, I would be like, I said it. I do think it's boring for this show, and she also said basically, you're on the show because of me. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's in so many words what she really was saying.
I get it. Now, if Drea would have manned up and would have been like, I did say that, but I am here to support, or the producers got me here, I would have really respected that a lot more than saying what she said and then not dealing with the issue. She wasn't even in the show no more.
No, remember I told you I'd give her a countdown. Her not on the show anymore.
She was gone after that situation. She didn't come when Jackie had. Jackie, right? Shawnee had set up the 5 on top of the building when she brought Tammy back into the picture, and she wasn't. What was the last event they were at? She was nowhere.
So now we're at this event, and Tammy's kind of picking everybody. What do you think about that conversation? Like she's basically asked Malaysia and Brandy, are they lesbians?
Yeah, are they strictly dickly? They like the long.
She's basically like, coming for it.
That's what a grown woman gonna do who ain't scared. She got sass, she got ass, and she was like, listen, I want to know, the streets are saying this, I'm gonna hear it straight from y'all. And Malaysia and Brandy gave her the truth, and that's what a real woman gonna do. Just give it to me before I start talking and gossiping.
Do you think it was too much for them? Did you see the looks on their face?
I think they were surprised to see her, and then she came right in from the jump going at them. You know what I mean? But hey, it's a show. What you expect? When you seen her, like, oh, it's about to go down.
Yeah, I think she's a kind of refreshing from LA. She kind of does her own thing. She kind of brings people, like she had the conversation at the beach with Malaysia. She kind of just gets down to the nitty gritty with honest instigation. Because after the conversation with Malaysia, we see she has a conversation with Jackie and basically relays the message almost. Do you think that is instigation with a purpose, or is this
I think that it was the producers, and they was like, we got to bring her in. We got to bring somebody in to be the middle person, because obviously Drea's gone. Something happened to Drea, so they had to bring in somebody.
It is slightly convenient that she's making a real mark right when Drea's not on the show.
Exactly.
Anymore.
She came in and she actually was like the rest of the show. She had like every other scene after the commercial break. It was Tammy with Malaysia, Tammy with Jackie.
So in your mind, you're thinking that the producers are saying the LA girls are really too boring without a particular.
There has to be somebody, and whatever happened to the other girl, she wasn't like Megan didn't even appear.
Megan was out of town for her birthday. You heard it when we get later, they find out Megan was out of town for her birthday. I think one thing I didn't notice, she greeted Tammy way differently than she did. She was like, "Hi, I'm Megan," which is the Megan that people actually know.
Yeah.
Like when she first met the LA girls, she met them very differently.
Right.
Like Megan did not greet herself like that or greet people like that, but how she greeted Tammy is more Megan.
Yeah, when Megan first popped up on the show, man, you was looking like, oh wow, she's back. Hey Megan, and not to change the subject, but where's the other girl at? Where's the
Patrice has first of all like 7 or 8 kids with Eddie, and
she
just so they just I think this is not her.
Like, where is she at?
Her storyline is...
And that's a boring story.
It's a boring story. As I think she would have fit more with the Miami cast
because
she's older. Her story is more about her marriage, and I think that's what she wanted to sign up for. She's like, I'm signing up to be on Basketball Wives because of the storyline with my husband and him cheating. Let's getting over that, and the kids, and me having to adopt his son from the infidelity. So she has an interesting storyline, but it's just not interesting for TV. She's just an interesting person to talk to.
LA is a little bit more wild and drama and sex in the city. So
I definitely think Patrice would fit on a different type of show that kind of focused on those types of situations. Although we do get a little bit of taste of Brandy's marriage, which is kind of what everybody would have thought Basketball Wives would have been like.
Let's talk about that whole situation. Her husband comes back into the picture.
I thought the date was really nice. I think he really tried with that one. And I think he's been showing a lot of effort lately.
So you think that he's a faithful husband? You don't think that he's...
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think that once he cheated and he saw that she was like drifting away, that he was like, man, I can't lose my wife. No man wants to die alone or go through a divorce, and you have a young child. Their son's not that old, and I think that now he's been away. He's kind of see her pulling back. That he's like, man, let me fix this right now.
I don't know, man. I felt a lot of it was for the show. I felt a lot of the Jeep wagon and the golf court, and I felt a lot of it was a show. He was at the cancer event, but he really was. They didn't show him involved.
Well, that could be just editing.
Speaking of the cancer event, what's up with the $5,000 donation? I mean, Shawnee, you could be Shad Media could have gave $5,000, VH1 could have gave $5,000, and Shawnee could have got $5,000. The
whole event actually looked a little bit rinky-dink, and I'm sorry to say that.
Was it for TV?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they say that Drea only showed up for the lights and camera and red carpet. Well, it was barely any of that because I didn't see anybody notable at the event or or any media at the event for that matter.
I was like $5,000.
$5,000? Yes. I thank you for giving them money. I think that it was amazing that they donated the money, but I just feel like they could have gotten a little bit more money. I feel like $5,000
that's a one check.
Y'all got bags that cost $5,000.
There you go. Gary.
So don't insult the viewers by having this event and only raising a couple dollars. But I do commend you. I don't want to throw complete shade on it.
But we like, if you're gonna do it. This is LA.
This is LA. $5,000 could have came.
Basketball Wives. That's money. That's ballers. That's relationships. I mean, come on now.
So much more money could have been made at this event, but it is what it is. So moving on, we get to Malaysia's event for her betting, which I thought was pretty dope. Her betting is actually really nice.
I like that. I would definitely have sex on her sheets and covers. Definitely. With Malaysia. No, I'm just playing. But I think she's cute, but I definitely love the look of it. You can see that was inspired by some fashion.
Like she said, yeah. I definitely saw a couple dope ones in there. And I appreciated going back to her photo shoot that she said, I want people to take me serious. I'm not going to be this sexy.
Yeah.
She just kind of white tee jeans and her red bottoms.
I would have had more like a robe or something on. I would have made it a little bit more bedroom and.
Well, she didn't want it to be that. She wanted it to be more.
She didn't have to have her ass out.
Well, she says she doesn't want them to buy it because of that. She wants them to actually buy it. She should put a
laptop on the bed and then act like she was working on it.
She just sat there, looking pretty. I appreciated it because it was a step away from what Basketball Wives is constantly about. The sex-driven part of them. And I thought that she made a statement by saying, "I want them to take me serious."
Right, and I think that it was a good idea to go with. The bedroom wear, because everybody like Drea's doing the bikinis and Angel has the lingerie and Chris, what's her name? Jackie has the vodka or the cognac.
But Jackie has actually a lot of stuff. Cognac,
so I like
products.
the lane that she chose. I think that she'll be very successful in that. And where was the party at? We need to get on y'all invitation list.
My thing is, when I watch Basketball Wives, I think like y'all do a lot of driving. Because they have stuff that is like everywhere in LA. LA is not small, people. LA's not small. I've seen them they're in Venice Beach, they're in North Hollywood, filming. Y'all drive everywhere. In traffic is way too bad to be driving.
Shad Media and pick them up in that big van and say, let's go.
I would be like, no, can we film this here in my neighborhood? Can we film this maybe in Hollywood?
They be all over the place.
That's my pet peeve when I watch the show. I'm just like, and I look at something in Koreatown there. I'm like, dude, those are like 45 minutes apart on a good day. That's not even including traffic. Those are places that really like an hour and a half away.
Park.
Right. They had that scene down at the beach. Who goes down to the beach from all the way from the valley down to the beach for a scene? No. How big is this check you're cutting me?
Because y'all need to save some of that check and give it to the cancer drive.
Exactly. Or some of that gas money y'all spend give it to the cancer.
That's probably why they couldn't give no more money. I don't know.
So we're at Malaysia's event, and of course the conversation of Jackie and Malaysia being friends comes back up. This is just such a beaten horse right now.
And Tammy started it. Tammy went right to it. Like, so you said this about this person, and so what's up?
Jackie came in there with a chip on her shoulder. She was already mad.
With those shoes, the lime green leopard shoes.
Jackie. Me and Jesse talk about this all the time. I understand you're an older woman.
No excuses.
I just think you need a stylist. And I just feel like the only time she owns black. She wears a lot of black and it looks good on her.
Jackie's very good for her age. I'm not saying she's old, but she's definitely a looker.
Yeah, but some of that stuff, I'd like.
Those shoes was just like, okay.
What happened?
Then she took them off.
And she still had the markings of the shoe all over her feet. Like, that's how awful that shoe was. But so this conversation of them being friends, which is I'm sick of because I'm just tired of the conversation of friendship right now with the basketball wives. Like, none of y'all are friends. Like, let's not even play this game.
Well, I think Jackie was putting on for Tammy. Because
a little bit.
So Malaysia gets up and she throws what was the lipstick shade she threw?
She said, this is putting on shade of lipstick for a husband you actually have.
Yeah, and Brandy was like, they was like, what?
Well, that's shade in a sense, that's shade towards them all because none of them have husbands.
Exactly. They were just one-nighters.
Well, Angel is a baby mama, but she wants to be with Tyreek. Brandy's marriage is on the rocks right now. They're trying to work on things. Malaysia is going through a divorce. Jackie's married, and Shawnee did have a divorce, and she's dating now this young dude.
I know. I heard you like young light-skinned dude, Shawnee. So.
Never
mind, I DM you. I just DM you. I'll DM her.
You go DM Shawnee?
I just go DM her.
Shawnee just might. Sometimes she does talk to people. So I got caught in
but I don't know how I would feel about sleeping with her after she been with Shaq. I'd be like, okay, I gotta get it together.
Shawnee seems like you have a good time with Shawnee.
I like Shawnee a lot. I think she's very and she's not that far in age. I mean, she's
No, she's definitely not.
Yeah, she's a good looking girl. I mean, if
she has her son is very close to my age.
Her son is dominant in basketball, man. This guy is talented and very tall. So she probably got another ball player right there.
Well, she'll probably know how to take care of it because she was behind Shaq for a long time.
Yeah,
so she knows the business as far as that. Probably knows some good routes for him to go. But he wants to do a clothing line. We found out from the last episode.
Okay.
So she's talking about investing in his clothing line. So that'd be kind of cool too. See,
that'd be sweet. But I'm looking forward to see him when he goes to college and see what he does because he definitely is talented.
Hopefully he don't get off his rocker and start acting crazy.
Nah, Shaq don't play that. Shaq can come with the smack. Shaq attack. I mean, what's it called? Hacker Shaq.
Whatever. But yeah, so we're talking about this friendship thing with Brandy and Jackie, and Malaysia and Jackie. And Malaysia is just like, I can't confidently say that you're my friend. We're working towards something. Why does Jackie want everybody to be her friend so bad?
Because really down, Jackie is really a good person.
She's super nice.
Generally Jackie has a good heart and she cares, but she puts on for the camera.
And I hate that. I hate that when she's like, "Oh, I'm the wrong being," and da da da. Like, Jackie, you're a nice man. You're a nice lady. What are you talking about?
Right.
Like, you're one of the nicest people can come across.
Everybody on the show, I think she's the one that I actually met the most and seen out. And every time I see her, she'll speak and she'll say hello and you're good. She's always very friendly. So
super friendly. She's been into the AFTERBUZZ, and VH1, so a lot of people around here have seen her. I've seen her on numerous red carpets. That's why I said this show is just entertainment for me. It definitely does not make me judge them as women because Jackie is so nice, so nice, and she just wants to be everybody's friend. But she has a way of being manipulative on the show.
She puts on for the cameras.
Yeah.
And, she put it on for Tammy, and she made the shade comment when Malaysia got up.
I didn't like that either. Why did you wait till Malaysia got up to say that?
You know, Tammy, that's their girls from back in the days. They spent many nights together in the hotel. So that was, she's like, let me put this on for Tammy. But Tammy checked her, and Brandy went and told Malaysia. Malaysia came right to her. Yeah. And that's where it ended.
I'm really trying to see what that conversation goes to. Like, do you think Malaysia gets turned?
I don't know, man. I think Malaysia, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a drink thrown or what.
Malaysia, we've seen in previous seasons that Malaysia can jump on a girl. She'll fight. But I think that she is a nice person too, and just kind of like, you really got to push the right buttons with her. And I think that Jackie kind of knows some of them buttons to get under Malaysia's skin, because when we saw it last season, in Paris, Malaysia was just like, I just cannot do this anymore. You've really been getting on my nerves. Right. So I just can't do this. So I think it either takes a long time to get to Malaysia, or you just got to press the right button right away.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the shade, but we'll see. It ended right there. They didn't show any spats. And then for next episode, I seen Megan in that bikini, though.
Well, now we get to see if Megan really does have a fupa. But did you know, speaking of Malaysia, too, Malaysia's Instagram got hacked by some yellow girl who was just posting these terrible pictures of herself, whatever. And so Malaysia had to change her Instagram now, which is crazy. But now it's back. The old page is back now. It's like a fan page or something. So, Malaysia, how did you get hacked? That's what I need to know.
Instagram, y'all need to fix that. And you should be able to call Instagram through VH1 and say, I need my page back. I mean, like, come on. Yeah. Flex the VH1 muscles.
Exactly. So, we're going to see next week if Malaysia and Jackie come to a fight or not.
Something.
But it's a good time to go into predictions, speaking of that.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Mr. Penny, what's your predictions?
Oh, man, predictions? I don't know. I don't even know if we're going to see Drea anymore.
No.
I think that might have been her exit.
That was it.
Because you can't recover from saying cancer is whack.
She was looking for an exit.
And I think she gave him one. So that's my other prediction. And my next one is I think they might keep Tammy around to cover up for that. And, yeah, I mean, that's going to be... I mean, how many more episodes is left?
I'm probably like 4, I think.
Yeah, so... I don't know. I couldn't even predict how it's going to end, but I would just say, you know, if Drea's gone, we'll have to see how the viewers like that. Because even though she said those wrong comments, she still is a big draw.
She's like one of the most liked and one of the most hated.
Yeah, I mean, we still got love for her. I just didn't like the comment she had. And when you say comments like that, you got to remember where you started.
Yeah. I definitely think that there is no more Drea. I think that was her way of finding her exit. I think that Malaysia is going to be done with Jackie now because, you know, she just how she does. I think this is the last straw. Tammy definitely, I think, is going to be around to stir things up. I'm actually want to see a little bit more Angel. Actually, because I like Angel. I met her. When I met her, I didn't know she was a basketball wife. She's a really, really, really nice person. Just super nice.
Well, they would welcome her. They was like, we want you to stay. We want you to be a part of the team.
Brandy need to calm down. I think Brandy trying to be a star, but you're not.
She just work on your husband right now.
That is a good thing that's going on, and I like seeing this side of her, seeing her more vulnerable side, and seeing her relationship. But you're not a instrumental character or cast member, so stop trying to be throwing fire down Angel's throat for all of this stuff, and let her be.
Well, when Drea left, the producer probably pulled her to the side and said, "Hey, we're gonna need you to step it up."
Because your cancer story is boring. But, whatever. So hopefully I can see a little more Angel, and I think that is it for this week. Hopefully next week in our new studio, Cameron, you won't be here, but Jesse and Corinne, I would love to see you guys back. Corinne, we'd love to have you back. And make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Gary Thomas.
And shout out to our engineer and producer Eric, who did a great job today picking the song "Bitches Ain't Shit."
You picked that song. Where can they follow you?
I did. Yeah, follow me on Twitter and Snapchat at Cameron Penny.
See you guys next week.
Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.